The NCS ethos is made up of 6 different things that you learn about on NCS. These are challenging yourself to get out of your comfort zone, increased responsibility and independence, social action, social mixing, inspiration and reflection.
It's useful because we can use these values in our daily lives to work to and inspire ourselves to do something.
I think the most important of the NCS ethoses is a challenge, or some people call it getting out of your comfort zone, where you just have to push yourself that little bit further to get the most out of doing something. So personally, I think my personal challenge I found was heights. I absolutely detested them, and other people. I didn't detest them, I just didn't know them and didn't really get along with them. That might cross over a little bit into the social mixing one, but mainly my challenge was going out and introducing myself, but also climbing up to new heights and trying myself like that.
The ethos that I'm talking about is reflection. So reflection can sometimes feel quite unnecessary. However, in my opinion, it's the most important, because it's that point when you realise I've achieved something great. So you'll experience reflection on a short term and long term with NCS, because you'll do the short term on your actual experience when you have discussions at the end of your day, and it's important because you'll realise the skills you've learned and things you've overcome, fears you've overcome, and also you'll celebrate the things you've done well. Long term, you'll do in your own time, and you probably won't realise you've done it until after, and it could be in 2 months' time, it could be in a year's time, and you realise that how great NCS was because you've gained confidence. When I look back on my NCS experience, I realised how much confidence I've grown, because I didn't want to answer the phone to anyone or talk on the phone, but now I'll stand up and talk in front of 200, 300, 400 people with no nerves or anything.
Increased independence and responsibility. I went through that in week 2 because it was the university week, and I lived with 10 other boys, and we shared a flat together, so we had to make things tidy and our food and everything like that. And also I think going through the other weeks in week 3 and 4, I think that increased responsibility comes in. I think for our social action project, I was mainly the leader for when we did, I think it was on one part of our social action, and the other one really, I led a coffee morning for elderly people in the local area, so I had more of a lead on that in the kitchen and everything, and making sure everything was okay.
Social mixing is a huge part of NCS. It's all about meeting new people that you probably wouldn't meet without NCS, that aren't in your friendship group, maybe they don't go to the same school as you, and just learning about different types of people, because people from all sorts of backgrounds can take part in NCS.
Talking to you about the 6 will be inspiration. I was inspired to do a social action project in my NCS journey, and it helped make a difference for others. The group raised money for WedYESday Centre in Worcester, and this inspired me to do more work, more social action projects in the future. Inspiration came into play in my NCS journey through NCS leaders. I was inspired by so many other people that I met, and it's changed me for the better.
Social action is such an important part of the NCS ethos, because I think that NCS is really about making change, whether that be to you, to your social grouping, or to your community as a whole, which is where social action comes into play. So I think definitely throughout your programme, social action is really a behind and backseat driving force, because you meet these new people, you want to see what their passions are, you want to see if they're the same as yours, and if they're different, if you can find any way to link your passions, and those passions and what you want to change in your local community eventually goes towards your end of week 3 and 4 social action project. So I think social action is a really important part of the NCS ethos, because it does take up nearly half of the programme, so you've got to be really committed, you've got to be enjoying what you're doing as well, so it's quite a fun thing to do because you know you're going to make such an amazing impact on people's lives.